Hi, Matt Crow here from Forever Young Studios. I've put together a series of 7 morning mobility routines. Something different each morning. It's going to take you only 8 minutes. It's going to make a really big difference to the way you move, your joint and your muscle mobility, flexibility. Do them each morning and you will feel better every day. You'll move free, have less pain, and it'll just simply make you have a higher quality of life. So make sure you follow along. They're going to be on YouTube every morning. Subscribe to my channel to make sure you don't miss them. Do you have tight hips? Everyone has tight hips. This 5 exercise routine is a great way to kick off the mobility series. 5 exercises where you're going to go through a series of rocking techniques followed by a holding the stretch for a little bit that are really going to make a difference. Follow along.
First up, we have hip external rotation. Simply place the outside of your foot on your knee, lying on your back, and just rock that knee, opening up the hips 10 times, being progressively aggressive or progressively strong with how much you rock it out. And then you're going to put your right hand on your right knee, the inside. Left hand's going to hold the foot in place. And you're going to push that knee out for 30 seconds, really holding that stretch and trying to breathe through and progressively elongate that stretch. Then you're going to swap it over to the other side. Hands are out, making sure you have good hip stability, shoulders are square, everything else is nice and firmly into the ground. Just trying to open up that hip area with that external rotation. Once again, hold the left foot on your right knee and push out with your left hand. Nice and strong, and breathe through until you really feel a good opening of those hips. Now we're going to move on to internal hip rotation. Keeping your shoulders square, arms out wide, trying to keep the hips on the ground as much as possible. Just have a nice wide stance with your feet. And what you're trying to do here is roll that knee to touch the ground. Once again, progressing through how strongly you roll that knee inwards as you go throughout, 10 each side. Trying to keep the hips on the ground to really work that internal rotation. Once you've done 10 each side, then we're going to use your legs to increase the stretch. So you'll roll one leg to the inside, place the outside of the foot on the knee, keep your hips down, keep your shoulders down, and really pull that down. You get a very good, strong stretch from the outside of your hip up into your lower back. And it's a really nice passive way you can hold a stretch for 30 seconds at a time. Once again, breathing in and breathing out throughout the stretch. Then swap over. Outside of the foot goes on the outside of the knee, pulling it over, adding that weight that you can really hold that stretch. Breathe, keep your hips as square as you can. Just breathe through really good, gentle hip rotation and stretch. Now we have a great stretch for anybody that's ever played sport before, has probably done this stretch at some point. Sitting up nice and straight, put the soles of your feet as close as you can to your pelvis, and you're just going to flutter your knees up and down like a butterfly, just really trying to open up that inner groin area. Once you've done that, you're going to put your hands on your ankles, put your elbows on the inside of your knees, sitting upright and trying to push those elbows out, really opening up the groin area and getting a good solid stretch. Breathing through. It's a nice strong stretch, this one, so don't push too hard too quickly. But once again, just breathe and let those hips open up naturally. Now it is time for the frog pose, rocking and stretching. Sitting nice and upright, take your knees as wide as you possibly can. Go out onto your elbows. With a nice flat back, you're going to push your bum back and then bring it forward in a rocking position. Your feet will be on the ground at this stage, just rocking back, opening up those hips, opening up that groin muscles. Rock back in and out 10 times, forward and back. You'll feel this be quite a strong stretch, so once again, not too aggressive. Once you've got that mobility opened up, then you're going to go into that forward position and you're going to lift your feet up in the air, and you're going to try and put your hips and your belly button on the ground, keeping your elbows lifting your body up, and really try and push forward and down with those hips. Lifting those feet up is very important to allow that full extension into those hips. And see if you can really open them up. Breathing through, keeping it relaxed, keeping it controlled, and trying to let the body sink in through that really, really important stretch for the hips and groin. And the last of our 5 in the series is the traditional hip flexor stretch. Very important one, this one. Going into that kneeling position, making sure your body remains upright. Make sure your foot at the back is also up on your toe. We're going to try and push the pelvis down and into the back of the heel. Keeping the body upright so we're not leaning forward as we do it. Opening up and pushing that hip down to the back of the heel. Nice rocking motion, controlled. And then once you get that 10 reps, right, put your foot down at the back, put your left elbow on your left knee. And very importantly here, you're going to try and feel like you drag your right knee along the ground. It changes the position that your knee is on the mat, and really feel like you're dragging it along. It gives a very, very effective hip flexor stretch. All your weight is on your knee there. You can also put one hand on the ground if you feel like that you haven't got enough balance. You can also use a bench either side of you to lean on. But most importantly, feel like you're dragging that knee. It makes a very big difference to the effectiveness of this stretch and really allows you to sink in and get a deep hip flexor stretch, which is oh so important for allowing that hip mobility. And you're going to swap it over once again. Nice posture. Just rock it in, pushing the pelvis down to the back of the heel. The foot is up at the back. You're not leaning over, dropping it in, and you're not pushing too hard so it's too ballistic. Always under control, but once again, just progress through it and get a little stronger as you feel like your body will allow you to. Right hand goes on that right knee. You're going to lean in again. Foot's relaxed at the back. You will feel a little bit different in this stretch also if you want to try and rotate that shoulder one way or the other. It'll go a little bit more inside or outside on the hip flexor. So once again, drag that knee forward. That's the key. So it'll go from what's effectively the bottom of the knee to the top of the knee of what's contacting the ground. It makes a big difference, and really, really important that you get these hip flexors loose so that we can have good stability.
So there you have it, a series of 5 exercises to really open up those hip joints, get real good flexibility, real good joint mobility through this area, which we're also tied in. Make sure you give them a go, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Plenty more series of mobility coming up in the next few days.
If you want to be kept up to date on all the latest information, tips and recommendations from health, wellness and longevity, please follow me at my Instagram at Forever Young Studios Manly. Thank you.